Today is Wednesday, October the 22nd, year of our Lord 2025, and day 22 of our government shutdown that we're all working hard to endure. Hope that you're persevering and finding good ways to keep your company rolling and your people taken care of. This is the first video recording I'm doing for our GovCon Insights newsletter. And I thought we would talk about three general subjects. I've got a couple of news bites that I've noticed recently that I think are especially important. So we'll just mention those real briefly. Two, we'll talk about IDIQs. That's always an important topic. And then let's end up with talking a little bit about activity relative to pipeline, and then how you can think about this new FAR overhaul and what's going on there. So that's what we're going to cover in this newsletter. Hope to keep this brief, and if you have the patience to sit through the video recording, we appreciate you, and hopefully you'll share this with your friends, and they will get some value out of this as well. Okay, so first, let's talk about a couple of news things. I don't know how many of you are X readers and follow the news on X, but if you have, then you might have seen this piece by James O'Keefe that talks about at least some possible fraud in our market with this company, ATI Government Solutions, and of course Accenture is involved here, and they're talking about a close to $100 million 8A sole source that got outsourced to Accenture, and what really happened. And I think ATI had sold to a Native American group, and just lots of stuff here. I think the important part for us as members of the GovCon industry marketplace is to pay attention to this. The SBA administrator has taken note of this news request or of this news piece and is investigating. So what's the impact going to be on the 8A program, particularly the tribal program, kind of the super 8As, and then just kind of the small business community writ large. Obviously too early to speculate, but I think this is obviously going to be at least something that could develop into a big deal without prejudging the outcome. Okay, second quick news bite. We posted about this on LinkedIn as part of a comment on one of the articles, but we're now building, and we're going to talk about IDIQs here in a minute. We're building OASIS proposals for two Navy seaport vendors who do not have OASIS contracts. So why are these guys interested in OASIS? Well, they have heard directly from the Navy that NAVSEA is planning to migrate their task orders primarily to the OASIS Plus suite of contracts and domains. And so that's a big deal. The seaports are very traditionally, up until the Trump administration and especially the shutdown, has been a very active contracting vehicle with dozens of task orders that come out every week with lots of activity. I have friends who have built very successful $20, $30 million small businesses exclusively in the Navy using the seaport vehicle. And so all that work, or at least the majority of it, is planned, according to our sources who are hearing from their contracting officers within the Navy, is planning to move to OASIS Plus. I think they're also going to be taking advantage of some other contracting types, but OASIS Plus is going to be primary. So that's a big deal. So if you're in the Navy and you're in the Navy market and you do not have an OASIS Plus position on, small business, unrestricted, and especially the T&E, facilities, logistics, those kinds of domains, I would encourage you to look at doing that. And now during this slow period, now's a great time to build that, because we know that GSA has plans to open up the on-ramping for Oasis Plus very soon. They had talked about doing that at the end of 2025. So certainly within the next, who knows, 30, 60, 90 days, we could see an open period for Oasis Plus. So look at that, put that on your calendar. Okay, so, that kind of leads into our discussion about IDIQs. We just put proposals for MDA Shield. We uploaded those onto the Pi for all of our clients. We're anticipating that those proposals had a 180-day validity period that we had to put into the SF33s and make sure that was there. But the evaluation of Shield should be easy to do. They built evaluation for corporate experience right into the form. We know and we're sure they got hundreds and hundreds of proposals. But MDA Shield should be coming out, we hope, within the next 6 months. And hopefully this one will be one that is free of protest. We certainly don't want to go through that goat rodeo again. So again, I've been having multiple discussions with clients about IDIQs. So if you're in professional services and information technology and engineering, I see 3 primary contract vehicles as we move into the next 1 to 2 fiscal years. I think certainly the GSA federal supply schedule, the multiple award schedule, the consolidated mass is going to be a priority. They're releasing refresh number 30 very soon. That's going to have some additional changes. Refresh 29 had a lot of changes. So the mass schedule is going to continue to be very important. Oasis Plus is the go-to FAR Part 15 indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, multiple award contract for government-wide use. If you're not on Oasis Plus, make those plans. And then, of course, we can certainly help you with that. We've written a lot of Oasis Plus contracts or proposals. We can help you with that. So that's the second one. The third one I think is going to be very widely used is going to be SOUP 6 as it gets awarded over the next 9 months and as it migrates to GSA into their consolidation office. Of course, we're going to have to look and see if there's going to be any protests on SOUP 6. I wouldn't be surprised if they were. That could delay it. But hopefully, between NASA and GSA, they find a way to award to all qualified bidders and only exclude those who have obvious compliance problems that can't be protested. We need these contract vehicles to get up and running so that we can all get back to business. So those 3 I think are going to be primary: Mass, Oasis Plus, and SOUP 6. Okay, so let's talk about those. It's interesting now during the shutdown, if we look at the activity happening on SAM.gov especially. So this is a view. I'm going to try and blow it up a little bit just so that we can all see this. If you're watching the video, let me move my camera view to the right. If you look at this, this is the last. So this is a filter. I filtered this down to just October and just the 5415 NAICS codes. And if you look at this, it's filled with sources sought, justifications, some award notices, but very few real RFPs. See, we have lots of justifications, and then we have a few pre-solicitations, a few solicitations for a few things, but look at the number of sources sought requests that the Army, the Air Force, SOCOM, Veterans Affairs, FAA are posting to SAM.gov. So if you're not involved in answering those, let me encourage you to do that. And check out our SAM Plus tool. We really like it, and we've made the subscription cost, a couple of cups of coffee and you're taken care of. But if you're in the VA, in the DOD, IRS, these markets, they're taking advantage of this period of time and putting some sources sought out on SAM. So look at that, take advantage of that. And then kind of my final encouragement in this kind of what's happening kind of segment is now's a great time to refresh and to build out your pipeline for FY26 and FY27. Use this slow period to make sure that you've got your targets lined up, that you've refreshed your capture plans, and we've got a lot of tools that can help with that. I've got a great team. We specialize in building pipelines, but now's a great time to get that done. We've come out of the fourth quarter in the busy season. We've got a little bit of a lull as we move through the end of calendar 25. Look at getting into the holidays. This is very typically a slow point in the procurement cycle, and now's a good time to get your pipelines all refreshed. The final topic I wanted to talk about during this newsletter segment is the FAR overhaul. And I think there's just a lot of information up here, and if you haven't explored how the government has started to organize this information on acquisition.gov, let me encourage that. They've set up some practitioner albums, so kind of some training material and other ways to organize this update to the FAR. And if you're a vendor or a consultant, I think there's several places that we ought to focus, right? So FAR Part 8, FAR Part 13, Simplified Procedures, FAR Part 19 for small business, look at 30 through 33 for cost accounting, look at 33 for the protests. If you want to file an agency protest, that's historically been 33.103. So we want to take note and make sure we're tracking how that language gets modified. Okay, and then you'll notice that FAR 52 is missing from this list here. Much of that relative to small business teaming and other parts is moving to Part 7 here. And then, if you go to the practitioner albums and look at this line out thing they're doing, you can scroll through here and see kind of in line what the changes are. And I think this is really nice, really helpful, and can help you see what they're planning to change. Okay, so here we see some changes here in terms of protest venue, interested parties, violent GAO, things of that nature. So the simplified procedures now for non-commercial acquisitions, that's what they're calling FAR Part 13. Take a look at this and make sure you understand this. They're raising some of the limits. They're changing some of the language. This is important to look at. So I went looking for FAR 522076 because that governs small business teaming in multiple award contracts. And so I wanted to know where that fits in the new FAR overhaul. And chat was able to help me out here and show that this is now part of 7.107-6. Start looking at what they're doing here, follow some specific things, and then these are the kinds of webinars that I've thought have been pretty helpful, right? And so let me just close out, and I'll just give you kind of a hack for ingesting a lot of material, ingesting a lot of these webinars. One of the things that I do is use Google's Notebook LM. Notebook LM is a great way to create a notebook that references a YouTube video or an audio file. You can see they can process audio files, files out of your Google Drive, or PDFs or text documents. So upload your content into Notebook LM and then ask it to create a report. This AI tool has pre-built reports for things like briefing documents and frequently asked questions and blog posts and all kinds of things. So if you feel kind of overwhelmed or you don't have the time that it takes to work through any number of podcasts or recordings or webinars or whatever the case may be, use some of these AI tools and let them give you the summary, give you the takeaway. I use this on a regular basis, been very helpful for me. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Thanks for hanging in there with me for this first video edition of our GovCon Insights newsletter. I hope these topics were helpful as we work through the shutdown. We wish you all the best now that we're into FY26, and let us all join together and hope and pray that this government shutdown ends itself soon with as little pain and suffering as possible. We wish you all the best. We'll see you next time.